Good morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now your host of Nature Watch. It's Labor Day weekend, but we are both laboring. Trust me.
Yes.
Gary Miller, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. This is my end of year 2. I've been doing this for 2 years now. It's hard to believe.
That would be both of us.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Well, you used to fill in periodically. You know, you and Jim McKinney used to switch off and on. And before
that's true. That's true. Okay.
Tim would fill in too.
Okay, so this is your anniversary.
It's my anniversary.
All right. Yeah.
So,
Sure.
So actually, with that in light, a little challenge to the listeners out there. So I've been doing this for 2 years. Okay. A little change from what was bird watches before. We've been sort of expanded in nature in that.
Yeah.
And they all go together.
Mm-hmm.
So, give me an email this next week at naturewatch@waddells.com and let me know what you like and what you don't like about the show. Maybe we'll tweak it a little bit.
Oh.
So let's see if you we want to make sure you listeners are happy, you know.
Here's the best tweak of all. Get rid of lawless.
So that might be a comment. We'll see.
It probably will. I'm sure of that.
So again, naturewatch@waddells.com. So any comments, things you don't like, things you like about the show, and send those to me, and I'll take a look at those.
Okay, 269-382-4280 is our number. We have an operator this morning, Steve Bellet.
Yes,
is taking care
Steve.
of the phones, and
text too.
And no, I have the text. He will say good morning when you call 269-382-4280.
And so remember that number and get ready to dial it or put it in speed dial, because I have another challenge for you listeners out there.
We always have a challenge.
Well, we got a lot more challenges this morning. So give us a call and tell us what kind of birds you've been seeing. And I mention that because the bird migration has started. So we're starting to see some birds that we typically don't see in the area.
Okay.
So give us a call. Let us know what you're seeing in the yard.
Okay, before we do that, though, let's get the trivia question out of the way. Then we can clear the phones for that.
Okay.
How about that?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So a trivia question. This was in the news this last week, and Jim actually sent me and actually had posted a comment about it too, and had sent it on to me. So a little hint maybe. So last week, actually WMUK, our public radio station, had a story. They actually had the original story, and about a rare species thought to be extinct in Michigan that was recently rediscovered in Kalamazoo. What is that species?
I know the answer. 269-382-4280. First correct caller will win a $20 gift card to Waddell's.
Yeah, so what rare species thought to be extinct in Michigan was recently rediscovered in Kalamazoo? And I'm going to give you another hint. It is on the endangered list.
Mm-hmm.
So,
by the way, just a hint. I put it on Facebook. Just saying. Okay. Yeah.
And I threw another hint out there. WMUK had it too. So,
okay.
So, temperatures this last week on the comfortable mode, very comfortable.
Yeah.
It's been a nice reprieve from all that heat we've had and all the high humidity.
Right.
Looking at the extended forecast this next week, might be a little chilly next weekend. That jet stream is going to drop down, and we're going to have some cooler temperatures.
I saw, and we're talking low 60s, maybe even pushing to break 60, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, a couple spots in Michigan were the low temperatures in the continental U.S. yesterday, 29 degrees in the morning. Okay. 2 spots, Bay Point was one of them. I don't remember. Covington was the other one in Michigan that had that low temperature in the continental U.S. And actually, this morning, Fairbanks and Anchorage, Alaska are about the same temperature we are, but their highs are only going to be up in the 50s.
Okay.
So, and another thing I thought would be interesting, because we're down to, I was looking at the amount of sunshine that we have, about 13 hours and 13 minutes today. So we have 13 amount of sunshine. Prudhoe Bay up in the north coast of Alaska today has 15 hours and 43 minutes, 2.5 hours more sunlight than we have. Doesn't sound right, does it? It does seems odd because they're farther north, but
right.
This way, the tilt of the earth, they'd still have that more sunlight there. So.
Yeah, that's okay. They'll make up for it in the winter.
Yes, they will.
There you go. Why don't you repeat the trivia question again? Because we don't have any takers. Maybe they're scared. I don't know.
I think they're all just Googling trying to find it.
Okay.
So what rare species thought to be extinct in Michigan was recently rediscovered in Kalamazoo? And it's just here in the last week or so, week and a half.
All right.
We may have to throw another hint out there. We'll wait and see if we get another call here in the next couple of minutes.
Right.
So deer are active right now. I drove through a couple of patchy fog spots this morning on the way in. Had one small fawn run across the road. Luckily, it was far enough ahead of me. But I got up this morning and looked out the window, and there are 5 deer in my yard trying to munch some of my plants. So I had to open the window, and that scared them. I didn't have to yell at them. Just opening the window, they ran away before I could even yell at them.
Okay, gotcha.
So I've been seeing, lots of birds that I've been seeing. I've seen lots of the blackbird flocks. And so usually those blackbird flocks are made up of starlings, red-winged blackbirds, usually some grackles, and they've been getting bigger. So this is usually that time of year we start seeing those flocks that start forming and getting ready to migrate further south for the winter.
Oh, okay.
So
all right. Wendy wants to take a shot at this. Good morning, Wendy. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
All right.
I believe it's the rusty-patched bumblebee.
That is correct.
Yeah, it is so correct. I'm the one. I'm the one that shared it to Gary, so I already.
Yeah, I actually had seen it about 2 other places already. So, so the rusty-patched bumblebee. So congratulations, Wendy.
Hey, there you go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. I'm gonna put you on hold, and then I'm going to show Steve what he needs to do next to get information from you. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hang on the line there, and we'll be back with more Nature Watch in a moment here on WKZO.
Overstock clearance sale going on now at Waddell's Nursery, Florist, and Garden Center. Green thumb pruners, loppers, and tree trimmers are 30, 40, and 50% off. All 3 sizes of green thumb tank sprayers are sale priced, including the 1-gallon size, now just $34.99. You save $18. Save 50% on ceramic hummingbird feeders and 30% on North Stakes finch feeders and mixed seed feeders. Get George's No Waste Bird Feed on sale. Save $20 on the 40-pound bag and save $9 on the 20-pound bag. Get ready for next garden season with heavy-duty folding tomato cages for just $10. Just in time for autumn plant feeding, all 4-pound Espoma Tone fertilizers are now only $7.99. Get super savings on Overstocks, one-of-a-kinds, and scratch and dent garden decor, and more at the Overstock clearance sale at Waddell's. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays 9 to 5, special Labor Day hours 9 to 3.
WKZO.
I like the local news.
More local news on the radio than any other station in town. And online, too, at WKZO.com.
Uh-huh. There it goes.
Like the band was taking a break there.
I think it did. Wendy, our big winner of a $20 gift card to Waddell's, the Rusty... What is
Rusty Patch Bumblebee.
Rusty Patch Bumblebee.
Yeah. So It's actually rare. They thought they were extinct in Michigan, and they were last spotted in Michigan in 1999. And that was actually the first bumblebee to receive federal protection after it was declared endangered in 2017. So after those 20-plus years here, a dead male specimen turned up in a driveway near Asylum Lake on August 4th. And so it took him a little while to make sure... Actually, was a visiting professor of entomology, so somebody that was a keen eye for insects anyway. From Sonoma State University, was visiting some family, and he found the specimen in the driveway. And he said, so actually his family member said, oh, look, there's a dead bumblebee. And he looked, and he said it was clear that it was freshly dead. So he took the specimen to K College, his alma mater, and they were able to identify that it was indeed a rusty-patched bumblebee. And it's identifiable by the rusty-colored hairs on its abdomen. So they're thinking that might be a good sign because it was a male. And so they're still doing some tests to see what actually caused its death. So being a male, they're pretty sure that there's probably at least a colony around. They nest in the ground, so a lot of times they'll use those little critter holes in the ground. So they're one of those ground nesting bumblebees. And they are usually one of the first bumblebees to emerge in the spring and one of the last to go to sleep and hibernate for the winter.
Oh.
So they are very active. They eat a lot of nectar. They have a very short tongue, so they can't get those really deep flowers. So they have to have those really shallow flowers to get the nectar in and pollen. And so they have that. They're actually sort of a colony, not a huge colony, but They are all in actually east part of the U.S. where they're originally native, and so their area has declined considerably. There are some of the other states in the Great Lakes area, but not in Michigan until recently again. So typically they hibernate in the wintertime. They're usually at those edges of forest areas, so in grassy areas and that. Some neat information on the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service about them. So
Okay.
maybe take a look at that. It's fun to do. So I got some rain this week.
Yay.
Again. But it was a tremendous downpour. It was one of those downpours you could have had a bar of soap and taken a shower in. That's how hard it came down.
There you go.
So I put that challenge out. We had the trivia question. So give us a call. Let us know what birds you're seeing at the feeders.
Yeah.
Or in your yard.
269-382-4280. Or if you don't want to, you can text us to 80373.
We'd love to hear your beautiful voice, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's preferred, but, we'll take a text.
So not much change in the drought monitor. Today, and actually tonight, is International Bat Night. So celebrate bats. You can do that while you're out at the Kalamazoo Nature Center with the Kalamazoo Astronomical Society with their public viewing session. That starts at 9. Looks like the forecast is going to be very good. It's cool enough the mosquitoes won't be buzzing around, so very comfortable.
Yeah,
by the
way, I do have flannel on.
He does.
I couldn't find my hoodie or anything, because it's a little cool this morning. So I found my flannel, threw it on, said, okay, I'll call it good, and there you go.
And you'll need it next weekend probably because it'll be a lot cooler.
Yeah.
This next week on the 4th of September is National Wildlife Day. And it falls on the September 4th every year. Designed to encourage people to think about the species we share the planet with and to be more mindful of them. So a good day to consider all those endangered species, maybe something you can do to help them. It was actually created in honor of Steve Irwin. And Colleen Page actually founded it in sort of honor of Steve. So if nothing else, you can look at the list of endangered species and say crikey. So those people that are familiar with Steve Irwin. Got a smile out of Jim anyway.
But is it a true smile?
Look, it was sort of sarcastic. So with the cool temperatures this last week, the bird migration started a little early, and with the favorable winds. So some of those birds thought, gosh, we have those winds coming out of the northwest. We're going to hitch a ride with them. So start our migration heading south. So that's why I was curious to see if anybody is seeing some of those northern nesting birds coming through yet. Hummingbirds, male hummingbirds typically leave earlier. So most of them have already left heading south. But the females and the young will be heading out here anytime soon. Give us a call if you're still seeing hummingbirds. So typically you want to leave those hummingbird feeders up for at least 2 weeks after you last see a hummingbird. So that way, if you get those late migrators coming through, they've got food. So, if you want to add another feeder just for the migration time here, we got those ceramic hummingbird feeders for sale right now. Fantastic, $15. Mm-hmm. So maybe get ready planning for next year, and so maybe make sure you get a stock, or maybe it might be some early Christmas gifts or something, so everybody's ready for next season. So with the migration going on, we're starting to think, should I say it, the W word, winter? It's going to be coming soon. So we got to think about those birds that stick around in the wintertime. And, so if you need some more habitat for the birds, for some good cover for them to nest in or roost in the wintertime, evergreens are fantastic. Actually, we have a fantastic sale going on those right now. We've got some big spruce, arborvitae, and junipers, bald and burlap, that are 50% off. So great savings. So you can add those plants in now. Great time to plant. You want to add a little food plant in there, so get some neat interest for you too, but some food for the pollinators when they bloom in the spring. And they actually have fruit on them now, but we've got several varieties of ornamental crabapple that are fantastic prices.
Oh, okay.
And they actually have fruit on them, so you can plant them so that fruit will stay on for the birds in the wintertime. So maybe get a little start in getting that winter bird food set.
Right.
So it's a great time to plant these cooler temperatures. Get that habitat ready for the birds in the wintertime, just because it's it's coming soon. can't avoid it, and want to make sure we got areas for those birds to roost in, and have food for them. And get those feeders cleaned. If you haven't had those feeders out over the summer, I know a lot of people do. Some people don't. If you haven't, or if you have, clean those feeders really good because you have the migrators coming through, and make sure those feeders stay full because all those migrating birds need that energy so they can keep flying south. So it's something to keep those feeders full. MDARD had a little news release this week: Eastern and equine encephalitis.
Yeah,
First case in Michigan this year.
Yeah.
And up in Benzie County, was actually in a horse.
That resulted in a human death too, I do believe.
And then there's been several occurrences in humans in the state, but that was the first one in horses. So it brings up a point with the warmer temperatures during the daytime. Those mosquitoes are active. So at nighttime when it's cool, they're typically not. But even though we're getting cooler temperatures, we still need to be cautious about make sure we protect ourselves and our critters. So there are some insect repellents that are safe for animals. So talk to your veterinarian if you can't find anything. But they actually suggest to make sure that those critters are safe too, because they can get some of those diseases as well.
Yeah, there is no human cure for triple E, by the way.
No, and there's other diseases that they carry. So there wasn't any cases of Eastern equine. There was West Nile virus. So there's several cases of West Nile virus in Michigan this year. Again, mosquito-borne. So that's important to keep yourself and those animals protected.
Right, there you go.
And,
all right, good morning. Phyllis joins us. Good morning, Phyllis.
Good morning.
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi. I have seen a lot of hummingbirds lately. I really did have a space in this hot summer weather where I wasn't seeing them much, but now I have a lot of activity. And
yeah.
I thought my Oreos were gone, but now I have one or two that are at my feeder again. So I've put back the grape jelly again. But maybe they're just migrants. I don't know.
Yeah, they may be migrants. The Orioles have started typically migrating already in typical years. With the heat, they're maybe thrown off a little bit too. And with that heat, some of the birds were not as active as they typically are, just because they're affected by the heat just like we are. So they might have been in maybe cooler parts of the day, so we might not have seen them as frequently. And the hummingbirds, more activity recently, you're probably getting some migrators coming through, because I did check the Hummingbird Central website. Their map of sightings, still seeing hummingbirds up in northern Michigan, up into Ontario. But they're getting fewer and fewer. So they're on their way south. And so make sure those feeders stay up till at least that 2 weeks after you've last seen the hummingbird. And you get those Oriole feeders up too.
Yeah, I generally leave my hummingbird feeder up until October 15th.
Yeah, that's a good safe time. Sometimes you can get it down a little earlier, but most years at least the 15th of September is my hummingbird season yet here, and it depends on the weather. We've had usually warm falls, so a lot of times they'll stick around to almost the 1st of October. So that middle of October is probably a good target date, but still watch, because if we have warm temperatures, sometimes the birds. It depends on what food sources they have, but they also have instinct and know the temperatures are going to get cold, so they don't have a ways to fly. But sometimes they'll stick around a little longer because it's warmer. So
there you go.
Did you say the hummingbird feeders were on sale this week?
The ceramic hummingbird feeders. So, yeah, they have some ceramic, neat-looking ceramic hummingbird feeders. They're only $15. Nice, inexpensive gift. Something, if we get some more up there, get some more, just restock yourself with some nectar and get those up and feed the migrating hummers anywhere, and then have your feeders for next year.
There you go.
Yep. Okay, thanks, Gary. I like your program.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. We do appreciate the call, 269-382-4280. Looking for, what birds are you seeing right now?
Yes. So, speaking of seeing things, this last week, the Michigan DNR and Eagle Invasive Species news release. Here in Kalamazoo, they found invasive purple jewelweed. And so those actually came from the Barry Calhoun Kalamazoo SISMA. It's that cooperative invasive species.
What is that?
So SISMA is the excuse me, the cooperative. They're for invasive species, and they usually have groups. They're usually sponsored by the conservation districts in the counties, and usually there's several counties go together, and there are teams of individuals that are specifically looking for invasive species, and they have programs and sometimes some help on some of those invasive species to eradicate them.
Oh, okay.
So typically more plants because those are usually easier to eradicate, but they're watching for some of the diseases and some of the vectors for some of the invasive insects, i.e. like spotted lanternfly. So there are some of those activities. If you go to the Kalamazoo County Conservation District, or even just put in BCK, so for Barry, Calhoun, Kalamazoo, CISMA, CISMA, and go to their website. They have all the information and what invasive species they actually have specific programs, and they may have some help to do that. So if you see those in your yard, those specific species, they will have a program, and they may be able to help you with that. So good team effort. They're involved with the USDA has some input with that, but they because of the conservation districts, but they still have that input with the cooperative with the Michigan Invasive Species Network, which has got the DNR and Eagle and MDART all involved with that. And they've been very aggressive with that. There was a webinar this last week about how native and invasive species are affecting the trees in Michigan. And had a pathologist, forest pathologist, and an entomologist from the DNR that were the presenters of that, and they had a lot of information about different things, including diseases like oak wilt disease, some of the insects, and very, very informative. But if you're not sure if it's something's invasive, go to the Michigan Invasive Species website, and they have photos of invasive species, and they have photos of typically lookalikes. So there are some lookalikes, native species that you need to protect.
Okay.
But those invasive species, a lot of times plants will choke out native plants, and then that affects sort of a snowball effect, affects all the other native species that feed or are related to feed on that particular plant.
Oh, okay. We have the question out there for everybody again. What birds are you seeing right now? 269-382-4280. Let us know. We only have a few minutes left too, so.
Yeah, so right now we've got cool temperatures. You actually get out in your yard. Take a look and see what plants you have in your yard. Like I said, now's a great time to plant. We've got great selection, and if you want to get some more plants that provide fruit and food for birds, other wildlife. They have flowers. Pollinators typically like those, so some neat plants to add for that. Sometimes you can get both. Plus, you get some interest for you in your yard. Sometimes four-season interest. Okay. Actually, quite a few times four-season interest.
Okay.
And but now's a good time. You can see, gosh, I don't have very many plants that have fruit on right now. It'd be nice to leave those, or even like ornamental grasses or some of those perennials. Leave those plants up. Those seeds, a lot of birds feed on those seeds into the winter, and you have some nice effect besides just a blank landscape. Mm-hmm. There's enough areas you can see lots of just blank snow. But nice seeing some variety in the landscape, just because it's a little more relaxing and isn't so monotonous.
Okay, there you go.
So we'll have some cooler temperatures coming up. Watch those plants that you do have, and even new plants, but watch the new plants especially. We are still in the dry condition. We've had some rains, but some of that is really just at the surface, most of it. And so down deep, we are still dry. Mm-hmm. And we have a chance of some rain this next week. And when it gets cooler and that jet stream drops down, we have a chance of rain. So maybe we'll be getting some more rain this week. We need some good soaking rains.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we do. George joins us this morning. Good morning, George.
Good morning there.
Hi, George.
Yes, we're out here in Berry County, southwest part, and we're seeing the ribeye in the skies coming out in the fields. I guess they're trying to pick up some of the seeds that we're trying to cover crop with.
Oh, yes.
Is there a season on those so we can eliminate some of that destruction they're doing to take our cover crops away?
That would be something to check with the DNR on their hunting regulations, because sometimes you can get permits because of nuisance species that they're so numerous that they do affect your crops. So between MDAR, but usually the DNR has, and usually you can talk to, go to their website. They usually have a link to the local conservation officer, and they're a great resource to talk to them about that.
Now, do they migrate in the winter here and get out of here?
Yeah. No, which bird did you say is coming down?
Sandhill crane.
Oh yes, they sort of migrate. So the geese are really flocked up right now too. In fact, I passed a big flock in one of the fields today at the end of the field on the way in. Sandhill cranes, they migrate some. Some of them go farther south down towards the Gulf of Mexico. Most of them stay here sort of in the lower Midwest Great Lakes area. Sometimes I've seen them every month in the wintertime. When it gets a little warmer, they come further north. It gets colder, they might go down to southern Indiana, maybe south of Indianapolis or so, but down towards around the Ohio River. They sort of migrate back and forth, but they don't go. Most of them don't go very far south, and sometimes those are the birds that nest much further north.
Now, the new conservation program is promoting us using the cover crops on our soybeans and cornfields for the winter, and then when we plant that, and then we lose 20% to these birds, it's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, so I don't believe there's a season in Michigan on sandhill cranes. I know they've talked about that. Some other states do have the season. But I know you can get a nuisance permit, too, from the DNR for quite a few species.
DNR, you said. Okay,
yes.
We'll give them a call here Monday then. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Thanks, George.
End of the show already? Wow.
Yeah, we are, just buzzing through.
So give me an email during the week. Things you like to see changed about the show, things you don't like. We'll take a look at that. Maybe some suggestions for things to add to the show.
It was nice knowing you, Gary. It really was.
And also give me an email during the week at naturewatch@wadells.com and let me know what you're seeing as far as bird activity in your yard. Because we'll see lots of migrators. If you can, leave those lights off because that light affects birds migrating.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And because you get those strange birds to your yard coming through, make sure you've got those window clings on the windows to keep the birds from hitting those windows.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. All right, Gary, thank you. And I assume you're at the store today.
Yes, I am.
Well, yeah, you're wearing a Waddell shirt. Duh.
Yeah, and nice and comfortable out there. A little crisp, but nice and comfortable. I love this cooler weather.
Everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for the phone calls, and thank you, Gary. And thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday at 8:30 for Nature Watch, brought to you by Waddell's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. CBS and local news is next. Then Andy Waddell with Over the Garden Fence right here on WKZO.